Hello, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Wasted Inc.'s first official podcast. My name is Joshua Campbell, and this is...
I'm Jared Thompson.
All right, and so we are Wasted Inc. A little bit about Wasted Inc. We essentially... It's exactly what the name entails. We want to talk about things that you might write down, but you don't really ever talk about again, you know? So today's topics are going to range all the way from just general space things, which is such a huge topic. So we're going to dumb it down just a little bit. And then we're basically just going to lead ourselves back down into personal development and how we can kind of grow as personal people. So today, we want to start off by talking a little bit about ourselves, just kind of give like a little bit of an intro to me, Jared, and Wasted Inc. as a whole. So basically, we're two guys that have known each other for almost our entire lives. As a little bit of a background, we've been best friends since basically as long as we can freaking remember.
Man, it goes back wild.
Yeah, for real. It's just like, oof.
So long.
Ridiculous, bro. Either way, that's just the baseline of us. We came together and had this idea of, hey, let's start a podcast that's good material, and we just love talking. So I hope you like to hear my voice too.
Yeah.
So today, basically, what we're going to be going on and talking about, if you want to go into that a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about, like, space. And the other day I was doing some research, and we found out that Jupiter and Saturn are actually going to, they're going to form a rare, like, double planet, almost.
Damn facts. That's crazy.
It's, like, the first time this has happened in, like, 800 years. It's pretty cool. It's supposed to peak on the 21st of December.
Okay.
So,
how long does it last? Like, is it going to last multiple days, or is it just, like...
Well, it says that they get closer and closer from the 16th all the way up to the 25th.
It's just
25th.
Okay, so that's just the time that it literally like peaks at its highest.
At the highest.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know an exact time when it's gonna be like the best to view it, but it's gonna be cool. I think. Honestly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, anything that has to do with stuff that's not here, I feel like is definitely underappreciated.
Yeah, man.
And there's just a lot more stuff that happens that we don't realize. Like, everybody gets so sucked up in, like, work, busy, like, be productive. Like, they just completely blank out on the whole, let's be, like, open to understanding our universe and, like, where we are.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. But, no, it's gonna be a cool, nice celestial thing, man. It's gonna be cool.
No, absolutely. So one of the first things about space, besides, like, the whole thing with Jupiter and Saturn, which is honestly crazy, I wonder if that, like, actually affects Saturn, because Jupiter is huge, and, like, the gravitational pull of Jupiter, I would imagine, would have some sort of impact onto Saturn.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I mean, but...
Saturn's just barely small. Like, it's...
So they're two super huge...
Huge gas
there's
giants,
no way.
man.
Yeah, there's. I mean, dude, they have a gravitational pull still, right? Because it keeps everything pulled into one spot.
Mm-hmm.
They still rotate.
They have moons.
I wonder if they like will affect each other at all, and if like it says like there's no implications on like affecting us, but like there's no way that something like that they don't affect each other and then they don't affect us. Also, did you know that the U.S. government said that if an asteroid was to ever, like, be heading, like, hurtling towards Earth and we're just going to, like, inevitably die, they're not going to tell us. They're just going to let it happen.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they have no reasoning to say, hey, asteroid's going to kill us all. Like, they're just going to let it just...
Dude.
Like,
Nice.
we would literally never know. Like, everyone's always like, oh, the government's saying, like, oh, there's an asteroid. Like, if NASA or anyone makes an announcement about an asteroid, there's a good chance it's not going to hit us because the government doesn't want us to know.
Ah.
And a part of it's, like, logistical or logical. Like, it makes sense. Because, like, if you do that, there's going to be mass hysteria. Like, crime rate's going to shoot through the roof.
Oh, yeah.
People are going to be murdering everywhere. Like, people are going to do whatever the heck they want.
Yeah, man.
And on the off chance that somehow not every single person just... After that, you have to have some form of civilization to build off of. Yeah, bro, literally, like, just... Like, bro, everyone, like, imagine, like, you have, like, a tiny rock that falls in, like, from space, hurtling at, like, hundreds of miles per hour.
Yeah.
And then it just, skoosh, right in the middle of the earth. Or, like, right on the side of the earth. Like, that's gonna do damage. Now imagine something that's, like, 100 feet wide.
Dang, they wouldn't just do it like Armageddon did and send someone up there to drill right through it.
I don't think that would work the way that we think it would, because it's like at a constant motion. So like
Yeah.
in order for us to get to it and then match its speed to actually be able to get onto it, I mean, the best thing you might be able to do is send like an automotive, like if we had an automated
Send-
rocket system that you could send something out to like that like estimated location. But even then, it's like it's so hard to know because it's so far away.
Yeah, man. Well, like, man, I mean, they could probably just send some nukes, redirect it, man.
Yeah, but you also want to be careful with like blowing stuff up in space, because when you blow it up in space, it goes
True.
everywhere, and then you're also blowing up like how many other things in space? You might be like getting one big asteroid out, or like comet, or like whatever it's called for the bigger version out of your way,
Yeah.
but then you're shooting like 20 smaller things into your atmosphere and at Earth that are
That's
just gonna like shoot
just as bad.
everywhere. Yeah, because then it
Yeah.
does a little bit less damage, but it does it more over the
Yeah.
planet. So like
Yeah. and
that's why you don't really just want to shoot it. Plus,
Yeah, if it's too close, they can like take it with nuclear warheads and stuff. It can
Yeah.
create like an EMP and
Yeah.
kill all the powers. To
yeah.
throw us back to the Stone Ages.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure. I forget where I heard it, so like don't quote me on it. But I know when I heard something about it, that if the world's power went out for like 30 seconds, like a mass amount of people would just die.
Just die. Yeah,
Which is
'cause-
insane to
yeah.
think about. Insane to think of, because think about all the people that are on like life support, all the people that need like medication and stuff like that, or like anything that like has to do with being online, which is like so many things anymore,
Yeah,
you know.
it's crazy.
And all of that just from some asteroid going out in space and us trying to figure out how are we going to deviate this from us, so that way we don't all just inevitably end and die, you know.
To a big pile of
Nothing.
rock.
Yeah, like inevitably, like the thing that people don't like really think about, I guess, because like it's not really something you want to think about, but the universe doesn't care. Like everyone likes to say, like, "Oh, we are like the center of the universe."
Nah,
Like
man.
we're not. We found that out when we found out we revolve the sun. There's a greater source of energy besides us. We receive energy from something that if it wasn't there, we wouldn't be alive. Like.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we're pointless. I'm not saying any religions are wrong or anything like that. All I'm saying is that to think that we are the sole proprietors of this entire universe that is ever expanding is just insane.
Yeah,
Absolutely insane.
and like that can bring it down to like civilizations and stuff, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like stuff like that,
Like-
because like you can have the levels and stuff like that. Then at what level are we?
I think we're at like a 0.7.
Yeah, it's also like literally we're not even at a level 1.
Isn't
and
it
they
like
just
5?
It's like 0 through 5, so kind of it's technically like 6 if you count the 0, but the 0 is basically just the foundation for like like super basic, like probably not even human intelligence type civilization, like literally just like habitats and like animals and shit. Like I don't know, like I'm not that delved into it, but I do know that like 0 is basically just the foundation, so that way we can kind of measure ourselves, because used to it was just 1 through 3.
Yeah.
Before recently I just saw another post by a scientist that was 0 through 5, and that was probably about halfway through this year that I saw that. And it's estimated that's going to take like 300 years
Dude, that is
for us to get
insane.
just to a level 1.
Just to a level 1.
Literally just to a level 1. And as confusing as that might be, like, so basically, like, level 0 is foundation, but level 1 is literally, for us, it would just be able to control all of the elements and, like, all of the power and nutrients and supplements that our Earth gives. Just, we can use all of it.
Man.
So like we basically it's controlling our own weather, controlling our own climate, you know, and stuff like that.
Basically our own biosphere. almost.
Literally just our own biosphere, like
Yeah.
making our Earth ours instead of being inhabitants. It is our Earth. Then it is more of like, okay, we're more of like a not the center of the universe, but we have a higher importance than just being
Yeah.
on this rock.
We
you
do
know?
have like that ambition almost.
Well, yeah, but I mean, well, I guess the way I said it could be a little bit misinterpreted too, because it's not necessarily
Wow.
like having a higher tier civilization isn't necessarily like this sole like push for humans, and like that doesn't say whether like
No, but like,
civilization is good or not.
yeah.
But theoretically, by like the way that the laws or like the theories bust down, the higher level civilization you are, the more prosperous you are because you
Yeah.
can control the elements, you can control your prosperity.
Yeah.
Whereas right now, I mean, we have all this different stuff going on Earth and stuff like that, where it's like crazy fires and crazy like sicknesses
Natural
and
disasters.
hurricanes that are just coming one right after another. Dude, like this year we had we've already had like 2 different storm clusters that were 2 hurricanes, one right after another.
We went through the whole alphabet and the Greek alphabet so far.
Really?
Yeah.
That is insane. I didn't know we went that far.
Dude,
Like, there's been so many storms. And so many storms in the Gulf, too, which is insane. Because normally they happen way more on the East Coast, not really on the West Coast.
Yeah. You know, it's really crazy. It's like Florida's completely avoided them.
Literally, like, we've just kind of sat in the panhandle, just like, all right, guys, hope you enjoy this hurricane. Like, we projected it to hit us, but guess what? It went to Texas instead.
And Texas was like, what the heck, man?
Yeah, Texas sitting there like, bro, we haven't got a hurricane in like 5 years. What is this? And then they just get wrecked. And it's like every time Texas gets a hurricane, they're just like, we weren't ready for this. We haven't had this amount of rain in like 2 years.
Yeah, man.
What are you talking about?
This is wild.
That's what I'm saying. Like stuff like that is literally, and that's only from our knowledge in the U.S.
Yeah.
And like on top of all these, like whether you want to see it as coincidence or not, all these like people dying. Like people that are young, like not even people that are like, okay, well, they're like 90 something. It's understandable that a generation is just starting to kind of kick the bucket. Like, no, these are people that are like 20, 30. Granted, some of them, they're affiliated with bad things like gangs, or some of them are like rappers where they're like just, you know, getting murked off one by one because they say something stupid. But at the end of the day, you still have all these mass killings. You have nature just going haywire. You have just all this different stuff.
Yeah, and
we don't have a grasp on really
the whole thing.
Yeah, on the, not even just the whole thing, but controlling the whole thing.
Yeah, like can you imagine if we were
exactly
a tier 1 society?
Exactly.
I mean, like weren't you talking about the void the other day? Like 700
yeah,
years away.
Exactly, and like it's theorized. So like, all right, so I'll give you a little bit of an explanation of what the void is beforehand, so that way we can kind of have baseline knowledge. But basically, the void is this massive space that's 700 million light years away.
That is crazy.
From Earth.
Yeah.
Super far away, unimaginably far away. Not even a single person in our lifetime is ever gonna get out there. I would be. Far. Like, if my mind just does not comprehend anyone going that far. It might happen, but I just can't comprehend it.
Not at all.
But either way, it's 700,000 or no, not 700,000, 700 million light years away.
That's crazy.
But
so far.
Yeah, it's far, but that's not even half of it. This thing is literally like, I think the radius of it is like an estimated 165 million light years, if I remember correctly. And because it comes out to like the whole thing is roughly 330 million light years across as a diameter of this thing. Because it's roughly like, it's not a complete like perfect circle, but it's
more like an oval.
Yeah, it's more like an oval, but it almost comes into like that circular formation.
Yeah.
And so like, just knowing that, and there's like barely any galaxies in like a 330 million light year range, which is literally almost half as far as it is from here.
That's crazy.
Is as big as it is. Like, it's just incomprehensible of how big this is and how little crap we can see in it.
How is that even possible that they were even able to find it, like with all these stars?
Literally just like telescopes and stuff like that. That's the thing, is like with technology and stuff, I don't know the full mechanics behind it and stuff like that. But realistically, like, we have such a high technology now that we don't know about that can literally just get images from forever away. But we also have like shuttles that are like super far in space that are taking pictures and stuff,
sending them back.
Exactly.
Like, you know, the Voyager 2 just actually reached the Voyager 1 reached it in like 19 something.
Reached what?
the outskirts of our solar system.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Voyager 2 just actually passed the outskirts of our solar system and is still sending back information.
Oh, yeah, because didn't Voyager 1 die off, like,
Yes,
not
it
too
did.
long after it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just out there floating forever now. Like, someone's going to find it and be like, yo, what the...
You know, it's actually cool, though. Like, if there is a society and, like, another life form out there, there's, like, a record inside of the Voyager 1 that has all of human history on it. Like,
oh, that's super dope.
not all of human history, but, like...
Main points and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And,
That's super cool.
I think Voyager 2 has the same thing, only it's, like, something updated.
Probably, yeah, because
Yeah.
one was probably sent like years after the other, and like technical advances within the past like 30 to 40 years have just been so astronomical.
Do you know that NASA's sending something to Saturn's moon Titan?
Yeah, I heard about it,
Yeah.
but I don't know much, honestly.
It's on their Instagram page, actually.
Really?
I was watching it the other day, and it was pretty cool. They were talking about how there's possibly a chance there's an underwater ocean with life forms and stuff.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
I heard something about that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So they're sending this, I forgot the name of it, but they're sending this, like, Mars rover over to Titan, and they're going to let it land on there, and they're going to try to bring back some stuff.
That is insane. I mean, I had heard about it a little bit, but like you always don't know what you can fully trust online too.
Yeah.
So I never really looked too much into it.
Well, I went,
But
it
that's...
the
I
only
mean, there's
reason,
developments, you know?
I mean, for a 0.7 tier society, we're still making these advancements, and that's pretty awesome.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's just like
Like-
SpaceX, not like what, like less than a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago. I'm not 100% sure around the days. But they just like sent off one of their first commercial type flights into, I think, to the space station, if I remember it correctly.
That's pretty cool, to be honest.
That it was literally marked as like the first step into commercial space flight.
That's
Which,
cool.
if you think about it, is like, yeah, like, okay, whoop-de-doo, that's a big step. Think about 5 to 10 years from now. You're going to be able to just be like, all right, honey, what do you want to do for our honeymoon 10 years from now? Be like, oh, I want to go to the space
Mars.
station. Not even Mars, probably just like the space station or something for a while.
Well,
Or even the moon, maybe, but like,
yeah.
more than likely is going to be like the space station to start off with, so that way you can just get people acquainted with everything and like stuff like that. So, it really just depends on where legally we can take action, because the majority of the time that's really what limits us is funding and legalities. Because then it's like, all right, well, if the U.S. sends something to Mars and it happens to be habitable, we do colonate it, does it have the rules of the U.S.? Or does it have independent rules that they make up there? Is it a new colony? Is it, or if Russia gets there, does Russia get the territory? Or like, do they get a certain amount of territory? Like, all that legality stuff goes into stuff like that.
I think they are, like, almost considering it, like, international waters.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, so, they actually said something like, you know the movie that, what's his name? Matt Damon?
No.
The Martian?
Oh, yeah. That was a good movie.
He made a joke in the movie. He said, technically this is international waters, and for the rest of the movie he wanted to be called Captain Blondebeard.
Yeah. Like, I am the captain of the boat now.
I am Captain Blondebeard. But no, I was also reading about, there we go, that's what I was looking for.
But I think I might be completely pulling this out my rear end, but I want to say I remember hearing something about them trying to make a rule and trying to make like a guideline because they don't want colonization.
Yeah.
Like, if we do start going out into space, we don't want to over colonize certain places with certain people.
Exactly.
Because then you can, instead of being one unity as a human race developing and growing there, you're going to have Russians find a planet and be like, cool, we're going to make this bitch our home, and then they're going to start some crap that they shouldn't be doing, and then they're going to blow us all up. Or vice versa, we might do the same. You know, you want to try as much as you can to, like, especially once you get to, like, space travel and, like, out of this world travel, it's like you really have to leave the worldly things behind.
Exactly.
You know, like, you'll have, like, internet and stuff like that, because internet comes from satellites and stuff, so I mean you could have internet anyways, but like other than simple stuff like that, like everything's gonna change. Like how you get your food, how you get your, like, how you sustain life.
It's gonna be crazy.
Absolutely. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be impossible for us to bring any of our stuff that we have here on Earth if we ever do go out.
Mhm.
But like, imagine it if they had a spaceship that could go up to Mars for $200,000, but now it's going to be $400,000 because they need to figure out a way to put in more fuel because you're
Mhm.
adding on, say, I don't know how much weight of stuff you're trying to bring up there.
And that actually does come up in it. How would they even pay for the fuel? How would you get the fuel to get there?
Well, from here.
Yeah.
And then what you would probably have to do is like in early development, like set up stations.
Yeah.
Like before you actually colonize a planet itself, like start setting up stations where you can have transports, like say from Earth. Like it sounds like super extra, like
Yeah.
futuristic type stuff, but like realistically, the way that it would work is be like a gas station. Like you're gonna have to have a refill point somewhere.
Oh shit! Sorry, dude.
What is that?
This is from the Japanese mission. They sent a probe to an asteroid.
Oh, nice.
Basically, it's a giant pile of rubble in space, but it's a pretty cool one. They had this asteroid, not this asteroid, this mission called Hayabasa 2, I think that's how it's pronounced.
Mm-hmm.
Go to this asteroid called Ryugu, I think that's how it's pronounced too, and pick up samples and stuff. Like, we're already into that stage, and that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. So like, that's another thing too, though, is like
We're getting somewhere as a human civilization.
we are. I mean, we're growing, and like you can like I feel like there's a lot of underlying growth that we don't see as like normal middle class younger individuals that like aren't into all the major stuff like that.
Mhm.
Because there's like new developments all the time in technology, and you don't hear about it as a consumer until you can use it.
Yeah.
So like that's just like the chips with Elon Musk. Like this dude was probably thinking about this for years and years now, and finally he's figured out how to get the technology to get it set in place, and now he's working on it.
And that's pretty awesome, not gonna lie.
Well, absolutely. And like the thing that I feel like people are like getting all tripped out about, they're like, oh, like the government can watch you then. Like they don't already watch you through your phone. Like anyone to think that you don't have some form of surveillance done.
Mm-hmm.
Like after 9/11 happened in the US, like they upped surveillance on everything. That's when we got caught in a lot of like scandalous stuff of recording conversations and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
was wrong because it's an invasion of privacy.
Basically.
So now it's just like people say, oh, I have my freedom of privacy, but in reality, I guarantee you with keywords within a discussion, you probably alert some attention.
Yeah.
Like it's already proven that like if you go online and you search up stuff in the black market, you automatically have people like watching your stuff.
That is crazy.
Like illegal black market, because there's like the
Oh, yeah,
black
yeah.
market you can buy stuff legally, but then I can't remember what it's called.
Mhm.
But there's another section of it that's like super illegal, and that's where all like the super bad stuff is. So like all that aside, with having like surveillance and stuff like that, because
Yeah.
that is a major point, but that's like besides the point. The main point is we are still making advancements in
Mhm.
our technology that's really allowing us to thrive and succeed. So it's not like we're not growing at all,
Mhm.
because we are.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of it's just stuff that we don't see.
Mm-hmm.
But then a lot of people are opposed to growth because of stereotypes or lies that
Being
are
stuck in old
pushed
ways and
on.
stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, and that kind of just, it's all crazy now with the black market and stuff and everything. But you need to bring it down to the most simplest of things. You got to take care of yourself, because how exactly is society itself
Mhm.
supposed to progress if we aren't taking the time to actually take care of ourselves? You know, like I just started a new job, and every morning I'll get up and I'll do, 5 push-ups, 10
Mhm.
push-ups until I can, get there. But
Exactly, and that's the biggest thing is it's those little steps, bro. It
Mhm.
really is, because
Yeah.
even something like 5 push-ups, that might sound like, oh, that's nothing, but like
nothing. But to me,
it's a step.
It's pretty hard for me to do because I've been inactive
Mm-hmm.
and not doing this stuff for so long. So it's pretty nice to be able to get up in the morning and actually get through it, even though
Mhm.
it's hard. Self-care like that, like you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Just use that to progress and make yourself happy, man.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, like the happier you are,
The better off society.
the better off you're gonna be productive in your life and
Exactly.
with the people around you and in your
Mhm.
relationships and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Okay.
it boils down to just focusing on your inner self before anything else. Like, as crazy as talking about space is, and as crazy as, like, but there's a difference too, because like I mentioned at the beginning of our talk, a lot of people focus on the go 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 of work and accomplishments and monetary, paying my bills and kids and stuff like that. And I understand a lot of those things, they're impossible to get away from.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to have a moment of at least your week, let alone a day or a month, you know, or anything like that, that you can take some time to sit down and really look in yourself and see where you are, where you want to be, what growth patterns you want to pursue, so that way you can truly become the person you want to become. Exactly. And that lies on your own happiness, let alone a civilization's growth. That's the best way for everyone to grow, is for everyone to be better and happier. But it also underlines that's just better for you. Yeah. You know, because like, how much better do you feel since doing push-ups since you started working again?
I've been feeling strong.
That's what I'm saying.
My muscles been getting great.
Exactly. What? That's what I'm saying. Like, you start feeling better, and like you said, you started drinking more water too, right? Man.
I've been drinking water like here. I almost finished this one today. I mean, obviously it's not.
Yeah, exactly. And you drink.
I just started drinking
stuff for dinner and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I drank, 2 big bottles like that, almost like it was nothing since I
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's us taking care of yourself. You're already physically exerting yourself more at work and stuff like that. And so, I mean, props to you, bro. Like, that's amazing. That's part of that self-care, really trying to get yourself better, especially the world's been crazy. We already talked about it, COVID, sickness, hurricanes. The last thing you need is for your personal well-being to be in the garbage while the rest of the world is literally burning around us.
Exactly.
So
you don't need to be that person that's just sitting in a fire going, "This is fine."
Exactly, and that's what so many people in these days. That's what they do.
Yeah, and it's like, it's okay. We'll just keep going.
Yeah, like, it's whatever. I'll just keep pushing. Like, yeah. But then people people realize when they're already like 3 miles down the road that they have to turn around. Just imagine if you took a second to look at where you're at and realize that's not even the direction you want to be going.
Yeah.
Don't waste that 3 miles of your life, and make a decision now based upon how you're internally processing things now, because that's where you leave out the doubt and stuff like that.
Yeah, because like you said, with that extra 3 miles that you could have spent, rather going that 3 miles, you could have spent it slowing down. And instead of going super fast, you got to get where you're going. You're going to be late for work. Stop and smell the roses, man.
Yeah, exactly. Literally wake up and smell the coffee. Like,
enjoy yourself.
Whether you like the smell of coffee or not, I don't care. Wake up and smell the coffee. Get ready. Get up and do your day. Like, that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Like, but it's of course easier said than done.
Yeah.
I say all you have to do, like I do it every single day of the week. But at the end of the day, it's that 1% progress every single day.
Yeah, and as long as you take that step, you don't have to always do it, but you got to take it sometimes. Just relax.
Exactly.
You gotta focus on yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the main focus is when you start diving into yourself. Start to realize, like, take on your own issues. Like, don't just sit there and be like, no, that's kind of an issue, but, like, I'm just going to push it to the side. Like, no, you have to be headstrong and understand, like, this is what's wrong, this is what I can improve on, and this is how I'm going to be a better individual.
Exactly, because if you don't, then it'd be like a snowball going down the hill. It starts getting more and more and more, and then there's a huge ball of stress that just right on top of you.
Exactly.
And then what happens to a balloon when you blow it up so much? It just goes...
boom, and it's gone. And that's just it, man.
And honestly, I feel like that's why we're still a 0.7.
Exactly.
And
that's what I'm saying. Like, I really feel like development as a whole won't come across until we can look at each other as a whole.
Exactly.
Like, you're not... I mean, it's just like, think about a relationship, bro. On a simple term of 2 people, not even billions and millions of people, just freaking 2 people as a relationship. You know, when you have the best cooperation and the most connection is when you understand each other and you look at each other as a unit, not as me and you, but us. You know, the whole us aspect completely changes the game. It could do that for the entire civilization. I know it's going to be hard because, like, imagine trying to make 10 people think the same thing,
Exactly.
let alone however millions or billions or whatever the ungodly number is that just keeps racking up day by day.
Yeah. And it's...
So.
Yeah. But, this was a great first podcast, man.
Absolutely, man. I had a wonderful time. I can't wait for future ones.
It's definitely going to be future ones for sure.
Exactly. I appreciate
ones,
all the listeners and all the viewers and everything like that. If you guys could just do me a favor and leave a like, and if you can, comment it for some more content. So give us some ideas.
Yeah, man.
We got some in store, but we would absolutely love to hear what anyone else wants to hear.
Yeah, because in the end,
it's for everyone. Yeah.
It's for everyone.
Exactly. It's for everyone. It's not just us talking. It's truly us trying to talk and have a connection and conversation with those around us.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys for listening to Wasted Ink.
Have a good one.